Hello and welcome back. In today's video, I'll explain Invincible Season 4, Episode 2. Episode 2 starts with an asteroid being sent to a planet, and once it lands, it releases a gas into the environment. Right after that, we see a group of young Viltrumites in training being taught by young Nolan. He tells them about Emperor Argyle, whose statue is carved, and explains how he was killed by the betrayer. In the next scene, we see a young Nolan getting beaten badly by his mother during training. His father steps in and stops it, telling her that Nolan fought well. After that, Nolan is instructed to report to the city barracks, where he will receive his uniform and his first official assignment. All in the name of making Argyle proud. Soon after, things take a dark turn as several Viltrumites begin coughing up blood. It becomes clear that the gas released earlier was biological weapons specifically designed to target Viltrumite DNA. This deadly infection is known as the Scourge virus, and it spreads quickly with no known cure. The virus wipes out billions of Viltrumites, leaving only a small number alive. With so few survivors, any future offspring will be inbred and weak, pushing their entire race toward near extinction. The story then shifts to Nolan and Alan, where Nolan begins to open up about his true mission on Earth. He explains that he wasn't sent there just to conquer the planet. Instead, Earth was one of many worlds the Viltrumites visited to see if any species were genetically compatible with Viltrumites. Nolan reveals that Mark's strength proves humans are a viable match, which is why he eventually tried to take over the planet after seeing how powerful Mark had become. Not long after, they receive an alert. Alan welcomes Nolan to Taliskria, and the two of them sneak in together. Alan reunites with Telia after being gone for a long time and explains that he had been captured and locked in a Viltrumite prison. Just as he is about to introduce Nolan, Telia panics and immediately shoots Nolan. Then Alan, Telia, and Nolan go to meet Theodos. He is shocked to learn that only about 50 Viltrumites are left alive. Nolan is surprised to discover that Theodos is also a Viltrumite, even though he has never heard of him before. Theodos tells him that while Nolan may not know him, their people refer to him by another name, the Betrayer. Alan then talks to Theodos about a weapons Nolan knows about that could destroy the Viltrumites, and they all set out to retrieve it. When they arrive at their destination, Alan and Nolan leave the ship to find Space Racer's weapon. Alan asks Nolan if he killed Space Racer to take it, but Nolan explains that he didn't. Instead, he buried him alive under thousands of tons of rocks because he was afraid the weapon might self-destruct if its owner died unnaturally. When they reach the weapon, they realize it is still linked to Space Racer's body. As they try to dig it up, Space Racer suddenly wakes up and attacks them. Alan quickly explains that they are fighting against the Viltrumites and need his help. Nolan then apologizes for leaving him buried under rocks for 100 years. In the next scene, they travel to a small planet in search of a Sinlac beetle. Nolan explains that the beetle shell contains a compound that makes Viltrumites weaker to physical damage. They continue moving from one planet to another, collecting anything that could be used as a weapon against the Viltrumites. Although not every attempt is successful. Later on, they arrive at another planet where they meet Geldarians, and Nolan tells that Geldarians were too powerful, so they hired Kresh to destroy them. Then they go to Battlebeast planet, then they go to another planet where Nolan instructs Telia to adjust a disk so the planet can warm slightly. This will allow them to access a cargo hold and store certain creatures in a frozen state until they can return to Taliskria. As Telia tries to relay the instructions, the ship's captain says, "Let me do it," and order to fire the proton missiles toward the disk. This causes the creatures to start waking up. They rush to move them into the ship before they fully thaw. But one of the Ragnar breaks free and attacks Nolan. As more of them begin to wake, Telia demands control of the ship from the captain. She then uses the ship to block out the sun, making the planet cold again and freezing the Ragnars once more. After everything settles, Nolan begins to feel conflicted, realizing that by helping Alan, he's contributing to the possible extinction of his own people. They eventually return to Taliskria and report their progress to Theodos. Theodos mentions that he recently met with Space Racer, who is now ready to continue fighting against evil and has pledged his support. After dismissing Alan and Telia, Theodos speaks privately with Nolan and asks if all their efforts will be enough. Nolan responds that even though the Viltrumites are reduced in number, they are still extremely powerful, and many of the planets they conquered will continue to support them out of fear. Theodos then asks Nolan to join the fight alongside Mark, but Nolan refuses. Theodos then takes Nolan to a hidden location and reveals he was the one who created the virus, and then Nolan attacks him but stops, and then Theodos shows him an improved version of the Scourge virus. He explains that if this version is released, it would completely wipe out the remaining Viltrumites. Nolan then demands that Theodos promise to only use the virus as a last resort. Theodos agrees, saying he will only release it if there is absolutely no other way to stop the Empire. After that, Nolan leaves to go find his son. In the post-credit scene, we see Conquest begging Thrag to kill him for failing his mission, but Thrag refuses, saying he will not reward failure. That brings episode 2 to an end. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot.